Hey friends, hope you guys are doing good. So today I wanted to talk about something that I don't think I've talked about, and I wanted to answer some questions that you guys had to make sure you don't blow your amp. Blowing your amp would not be good and can cost you a ton of money. So first things first, cables. Speaker cables and guitar cables are not the same. You cannot use this as an instrument cable. You cannot use a guitar cable as a speaker cable. When you have an amp head and you have an amp cabinet, it's very, very bad to use a guitar cable. I suggest, even with solid states, I don't even mess with that. The thicker the gauge, you can go down to your music store or just order offline, but like this is a audio commercial series 12A WG speaker cable. It will say speaker cable on it, made in USA. And how you can tell the difference, obviously, is which one's thicker. The thicker is for your amp, because that's where all your power is actually going, for the power head into the cabinet. This is super important. I can't stress this enough. You can buy ones that are lifetime warranty. I have a bunch of them, but you got to make sure don't damage these, because if you damage these and this doesn't go through your amp, you'll blow your amp, and that's why you don't have any sound. But yeah, very, very simple. I think these are like anywhere from like 20 bucks to 50, and like I have a 50-foot one, and like you'll even see, I'll take this down, I actually have a cable right here. This is a smaller one, but it's longer, and then I have it all the way up through my ceiling up to my cabinets. But that's what I do. So now that you know that, I'm trying to get used to this tripod thing. Okay, so now that you know that, there is the other common facts of, not common facts. Okay, so amps have ohms. Ohms. Stupid name. Ohms are like how much current is going through the amp or whatever. Anyways, there's certain numbers that you have to abide by. Most solid state amps are 4 ohms, unless if it's like an orange amp. For some reason they use 16 ohms, which is just weird. But ohms are basically how much power is going through the amp, like I told you earlier. It doesn't make a difference in sound. I haven't noticed, like, if I crank a 16 ohm in a 16 ohm cabinet and crank it compared to an 8 ohm. I just like 8 ohms just because it's an easy number and it's the most versatile, I think. But for like going into other cabinets, the rule is, say for instance you have a solid state amp that is 4 ohms. Try your best to find an amp or a cabinet with speakers and the cabinet says 4 ohms. Match it. If you have an 8 ohm head, 8 ohm cabinet. If you have a 16 ohm head, 16 ohm cabinet. Now here's the rule. You're allowed to go, I think, one above the number. So the head, and head can be, say for instance, a head can be 4 ohms and go into an 8 ohm cabinet. The head can be less power and go into a more higher number cabinet, but you cannot do the opposite. Like say for instance, I can do a 4 ohm head into an 8 ohm cabinet, but I cannot do an 8 ohm head into a 4 ohm cabinet. Reason being is somehow the currency backs up to the amp and it blows the amp or tubes or whatever. Not good. So always keep that in mind. The amp has to be lower than the cabinet no matter what, or matched exact. If it's matched exact, you never have to worry about it. Now I've done that rule a long time ago. I've done that wrong, and it shorts out your tubes. It could be worse. But with solid states, you don't really have that problem as much, because solid states are kind of, they're very durable and they don't really have that real power going through the speakers. It just kind of bleeds through, I guess. Tube amps don't get that wrong. It's very, very important. So, but like say on the back of your amp, it will say like, this is a Marshall JVM. This is kind of a little clusterfuck, but so 16 ohm, this is one 16 ohm cabinet. So this speaker cable will go, say for instance, it will go all the way, I'll show you, it will go all the way from that speaker, hopefully you can see this, And you can't. Hold on. Flashlight time. I have 4 ohm. Oops, sorry. I have 4 ohm, 16 ohm, and then 2. If you put in 2, it's a right. 2 left and right. So how this is built, this is 116 ohm right here. So you would literally put 16 ohm from there into the 16 ohm. Now, say for instance that head was a 4 ohm cabinet, and it was going into this cabinet, I would put it right in the top left. So that's how I would do it. Very simple, but you can't get that wrong. So, by the way, if there's anyone else that knows ohms and can explain it better, feel free to comment below and help these guys out. I don't know everything, so, but yeah. So these amps are kind of confusing a little bit, but so it says 116. This one can only go into 116 ohm cabinet with one speaker going in. Now, say for instance you wanted 2 cabinets. 2 cabinets, you can do, I believe it is right here. You can do 2 of these and it will go into 2 8 ohm cabinets. Or if you only put 1 of these in, it's 1 8 ohm. This one is 1 8 ohm. This is 2 16 ohm. So if you wanted 2 16 ohm cabinets, bam. I don't think you can cross these, so I wouldn't do that. But yes, very cool, but it's very, very important. And I know like most orange amps are 16 ohms, and I know that's kind of a heartbreaker for a lot of people because they have 8 ohm heads, and I just wouldn't do that. How that works though is how the ohm is. It's not like how the cabinet's built. It's all about the speakers. There's parallel and there's series of speaker, and that's where you really got to start doing reading on how that shit works, because I had to rewire cabinets before, and it's pretty confusing. And if I try to explain it, you guys will be like, huh? So, but yeah, that's how ohms work. My favorite ohms are probably 8, just because it's like, I don't know, it's just like the standard, and Mesa has it. So, and I don't usually use 16 ohms, so on anything really. But yeah, so that's how it works. It's pretty simple, and I hope this helps. And if you know about ohms, definitely comment below and help these guys out. Please make sure it's the right information. As far as I know, all my information's right, but you're welcome to correct me if I'm wrong. Anyways, I have a guitar club on Facebook, and it's called Guitarist Till Death, and you guys have been adding that shit like crazy and been commenting and helping each other. Full awesome community. This is the very first community I've seen of guitars that's not like super trolling, so totally keep that positivity and negative bullshit out, or keep the positivity in, keep the negative bullshit out. Yeah, it's called Guitarist Till Death Shredder's Army, and I'll put a link below. And you guys are awesome. You guys can follow all my other links below. See ya!